Ronin's back, slicing through the noise with a culture attack. Pop culture, films, and the world we see. Deleted scenes, where the truth runs free. Take care, stay strong, we're breaking the mold. Be safe, stay healthy, let the story unfold. From watch parties, reviews, to the news we spin. Deleted scenes, yeah, this is how we win. Take care, stay strong, we're breaking the mold. Be safe, stay healthy, let the story unfold. From watch parties, reviews, to the news we spin. Deleted scenes, yeah, this is how we win. Yeah, yeah. Steam out on your YouTube, bro, let's roll.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land. I am Deleted Scenes, human being American and YouTuber Ronin. I'd like to welcome you to tonight's episode of Reserved Seats. First off, I'd like to say hello to everyone currently joining us on X and Rumble. I can't see you, but I know that you're there. I want to say hello to Sin's Corner, who's joined us in the live chat. All right. Also, Faithful Blue Wrench channel member, the Bird Woman of YouTube. Watch out for her second channel, Fluff Chick Productions, Connie Clary. All right, my guest for this evening is patiently waiting backstage. One of the nicest men on YouTube. A man whose arm I literally twisted in order to come onto the program. I'm afraid I took a page out of Sin's Corner's playbook and threatened him with some rather horrific things in order to appear on the program. And he very unsurprisingly, reluctantly agreed. And here he is. Ladies and gentlemen, Wilky's Movies and Music.
Hello. If I take off the mute, I can start talking to everybody. So, thanks for having me on. And yes, I know. What did I get myself into between you and Sin? The bullies of YouTube, the two of you, just twisting the arm, making me do these things. And just kidding. You never have to twist my arm. You guys are fun to hang out with. So I'm excited to do it. I appreciate you having me on.
Well, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule of what the hell is it exactly that you do? It's a mystery.
It's a mystery.
It's a mystery.
Isn't it more fun when it's a mystery? In the end, you know? What's that?
It'll turn out well in the end, you know. How? Mm-hmm. I know it's a mystery.
Yep. No, it's there's so much intrigue that is left to it when it's just a mystery. So no, just nothing too exciting. Just maybe I can say I'm the Clark Kent without the Superman part of it. So the fun corporate America thing, and plug away with that and try to keep up with the family and watching some fun movies and hanging out with friends like you while we're, getting to do this stuff. So that's all I can do. And sometimes I fail at keeping up with it, but hey, we try, right?
Right on. The geezers are in the house. Yes, they should be filing in here momentarily. Nice. Box Office Brawler has joined us. Good evening, sir.
Hey, Brawler, what's going on, man?
Right on. All right, so anything new in your sphere this week?
I tell you what, I've been in a rut and I was just talking to some friends about this, and I posted something also on my my members chat, but I'm way off my pace of watching movies the second part of the year. Got in a rut, but still love doing it, but just life, things get busy. And so I'm trying to get back into it. And the neck of the woods that I live in, it's going to be getting cold and dark early, and snow's going to be flying. And so I feel there's going to be more and more movie nights coming up. So excited for that. Recently I just got out to, and I know you had a comment on that, but I had posted that I got out to see Tron Ares. So that was the last movie I got out to the theater to check out. So
it's been getting mixed response. It has its fans, obviously, well, as most movies do. And hello to the Clue Studio, good evening, sir. And but and I was somebody who was not a fan of Legacy.
Okay.
And then I watched it again because I was invited on to a stream about Tron films.
Yeah.
And so I decided to go back and kind of reacclimate myself with it, because I really didn't remember a whole lot about it.
Okay.
And I remembered liking it a lot more than, I still had a lot of issues with it, but I remembered liking it a lot more than I did the first time around. So I kind of had a respect for it that I didn't have going in.
Oh, that's fair enough. Yeah.
Reevaluated it a bit. And, but I like the fact that it did set up this new storyline of, okay, what's going to happen now? Where are things going to go at NCOM now that Sam is in charge? What is going, what does the fact that Cora now being in the real world outside of the computer world, what does that mean? Are we ever going to go back and go deeper into the storyline of the ISOs? And then you have a film that comes out and go, oh, by the way, we're not going to have Sam Flynn, we're not going to have Cora, we're not going to mention them, and oh, by the way, Tron's not in the movie. I would think Tron would be a little bit important to your Tron movie.
Yeah. No, they just had a very quick kind of newspaper flash to Sam, and I think a reference to Cora. I wish they would have gone to that. So I'll say I have a lot of nostalgia for Legacy. It was one, I know I repeat myself over and over again, but that was one I went and saw with my son when he was really young. He wanted to go see it, and we went and saw it in the theater in 3D, and I enjoyed it. But I think that experience sometimes with who you're with and the moment that it represents in your life and the people with you can heighten the experience. And so I definitely had that one for it. So I have a lot of nostalgia for Legacy. I was disappointed not to get to have a little more references, or at least of Sam and Cora, but that was my 2 cents on anyway. But
I do want to say hello to Troy Pacelli, bringing the Geeky Geezers raid.
Hey, Troy.
FKHC 2005, sometimes known as Tim. I will not be able to get that out of my head. Ever. Netters Network.
Hey, Netter.
The Tired Midnight Blogger channel member, Curtis Selby.
Hello.
All right. Aged Boomer, host of Geeky Geezers. Good show tonight, guys.
I absolutely love. I always see that little the picture avatar, whatever you want to call it. I love it. I love it. We used to have a mower like that growing up, so yeah, I love that.
Right on. Pop Culture Minefield is with us. All right. What's the topic for tonight? Well, it's kind of wherever the conversation takes us, really.
We're just going to talk about you, Brawler, the whole time. Things that we just cannot stand about you. And no, I'm just kidding.
All right. And thank you to Pop Culture Minefield for becoming a new member of the channel.
Oh, nice.
Much appreciated, sir.
That's very cool.
Indeed.
Everybody always appreciates that. That's a big help. Helping people keep the channels rolling and keeping things going. So that's very cool.
Oh, it just reminds me of the worst date I was ever on. Oh, wait, it gets worse. You know me, I add a half hour to every show I'm in, and it is complete gibberish from start to finish. You know me.
Hey, that's a lot of mine too. That's all right.
Yes, nothing is misspelled. It is indeed Osmo. Yes, sir. All right. Well, you brought up the fact that you have this kind of backlog of movies that you haven't gotten to yet. And my my problem is kind of the reverse. I'm keeping up, but I'm not reviewing them.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
And that's something that I really need to jump on, because I'm always announcing I'm going to review this, and then I'm going to review that. I did it yesterday. I said I was going to come on and review a movie today.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get to it because I ran out of time, and there was the whole thing of, I actually had to go to the theater to actually see the film.
Yep.
So I had to. I finally got to Shelby Oaks today, and my plan was to see it on Thursday. I finally got to it.
Very good.
And of course, I am, full disclosure, I am a backer on that film. My name is in the credits at the end of the film.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Which is an awesome thing. Yeah, that really it was a big kind of shot, because my week's been, it's just been, I've had to cancel appearances right and left. My schedule got changed like twice. I had other things going on, and I had to cancel a bunch of stuff out, and so going to a movie and seeing your name actually up there on the big screen for a theatrically released movie is it's a nice shot in your arm.
Absolutely. I completely understand that. Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. But it's cool that you a long time in the making, right? You backed it quite a long time ago.
Really early on.
Yeah. So,
and it was
well deserved to get your name in there. So
indeed, and it was on my most anticipated of 2023 list, and that was before Neon got involved.
Yep.
And it kind of changed some things for that movie. And I don't want to go like too much into
spoil it.
into detail. It's definitely a roller coaster. It is a genuinely creepy and disturbing film, because it goes into some areas that I've brought up on shows before that I find troubling in real life when they happen.
Okay.
And there's a plot point here where I went, ooh.
Gave you the
that was unpleasant.
Yeah. You get those movies once in a while where you get the creepy crawlies from them, and there's just like, oh no. No, it's definitely one that I have on my list. I would really like to get out to the theater to watch that, because and I think whether people are excited about it or not, those are the type of ones that you definitely, it's a big help to get out to the theater, buy a ticket and go see it and support new original things. I don't know anything about the story. I'm trying to go in as blind as possible, but when you have a new filmmaker and something original coming out, it's not part of a franchise, which I love my franchises, so I'm not saying anything bad about that, but these smaller ones like that, even getting some of the names that ended up roped into it, not roped into it, but got excited about it and wanted to promote it and help it. Every ticket I think means a big deal to them. So
although I did have people come to my house and hog tie me until such time as I agreed. So It's very odd, and they also had staple removers for some reason.
Nah.
Oh, what was that?
I've seen some shows. They can do some things with those
Oh,
staple
no.
removers. You got to watch out for those.
Okay.
They're not messing around.
No. Did I like it? Yes, I liked it. I liked it a lot, very surprisingly, and I didn't know that it just being hogtied just unlocked something inside myself. And oh, you meant the movie? Oh, I share too much. Okay.
That's funny.
All right.
Heading into Frankenstein.
Watch Frankenstein is not playing where I live in theater. That's not in. It's not at the Regal. So
I don't know if it is around me either.
Hmm.
I haven't been seeing much about it, but I heard some people talking about getting out to see that, and I heard some initial good responses.
I have, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm interested to check it out.
And when I know Nerdrotic went on Twitter, and he was like comparing it to another movie that got a pretty decent. I can't remember what it was right now, but anyway, he seemed to like the movie quite a bit. So
nice. Yeah, I've been hearing some initial positive feedback on it, so that's good to hear.
No.
I hope not.
None of that. Luckily,
or somebody's going to get a lot of crazy screen clips to take from this live stream. So hopefully not.
I'll have to see the movie. See you guys later. Ciao. All right.
Take
care.
Great. Have a good time.
How it does. Indeed. You talked about Fight Club. We do not talk about Fight Club.
We forgot about the first rule. Oh, gosh.
First rule of Fight Club is we don't talk about Fight Club. The second rule of Fight Club is we do not talk about Fight Club.
So apparently we forgot about both the first two rules. So
dang it.
It happens.
You have to mention it. People will come for us. Project Mayhem lives.
Yep.
All right.
Don't order. What was that one scene? Don't order the soup, right?
You want clean food.
Yeah.
Eddie Kowalczyk, what are you doing here? Okay. There's an unexpected out of nowhere cameo. All right. Yeah, and that's another thing. Is you have to be kind of careful about how you throw in these cameos in some of these movies, because I think sometimes they can be a little overdone.
For sure.
Well, I was talking to you the other day about Twin Peaks, and season 3 has a lot of it's kind of like a cameo field day, and you have like Richard Chamberlain, may he rest in peace, the original Jason Bourne, the king of the miniseries, and he comes in, "Hi, I'm Bob Simmons," and then like that's it. He's gone. Yep. Literally, that is it. He's, "Hello, how you doing?" And I'll bring you into the director's office now, and goodbye.
Later. Yes.
You don't need Richard Chamberlain for that.
Yeah.
I could have done that.
You could have saved some money. We could have.
Yeah, as it turned out, our first clue should have been to Thornbirds when he said that doing love scenes wasn't fun. That was like clinical, and like, it's Rachel Ward, dude. What the fuck? But it's like,
if you can't find a way to find some way to enjoy this one, I don't know.
It was a little later. Anyway,
not to be crude, but there's like once in a while you're just like, yeah, if that's not going to work for you, I don't know what's going to work for you. But
no.
We're being crude again. We'll move on.
Oh no. What to do?
Talking about, sorry, side tangent, not to go off onto this too much, but when you were talking, when it popped up, when you were talking about like the cameo fest kind of a thing, that was a complaint. Not a complaint, a critique. Let's say that a critique, because they enjoyed the movie, but a critique. I know not too long ago, Deadpool Wolverine came out, and I had some friends that said the same thing, where it was just like, okay, I'm getting just beat over the head with cameos,
Yeah.
at a certain point, and they're like, I had fun with them, but man, there was a lot of them they were throwing at you.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, seeing that little bit where Cowboys Wolverine, that was funny.
Yeah, that was
Um,
funny. A lot of
you
people
know,
laughed when that
I
came up
like
on this.
that. Wesley Snipes returning as Blade,
That was cool.
which
Yeah,
needs to happen. It's not
yeah,
difficult.
yeah.
Just
And
follow Mr. H's advice. Do the raid with Blade,
yeah.
Not rated R, 90 minutes, you're out. Yeah, there you go. You know. Um,
I think
but
one of the crazier parts was when Chris Evans
yeah.
revealed as Johnny Storm.
Mhm.
That was kind of funny. So yeah, they even said they're funny, but they were like, at a certain point, I was just like, wow, who else are we gonna see? Because the hits just keep on coming.
Yeah. I mean, I know. Look, I get it. The movie's fine.
Yeah.
I
It's
didn't think it wasn't the masterpiece that I thought that some people thought it was, but
right, right. It was having fun.
it was jangling keys. The
Yeah. Yep.
movie, honestly, and that's fine. But hey, if you like it, you like it. You like it. You like it. So,
Yeah. It's a fun movie.
Blade is the father of the MCU. Change my mind. I
Blade is
agree.
awesome.
Yeah.
I'll still go back and watch that first one. Second one too, but first
second one's
one
great.
especially.
Yeah.
I'll go back and watch that every once in a while. I have a fun time with that one.
There's the beginning of your dark universe right there.
Mm-hmm.
Really.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know. Eventually, though. Well, technically, no. Blade wouldn't, because since Blade is Marvel and not Universal, I don't know how that would work. But
Yeah. Darn
yeah,
licensing and stuff.
try again. But yeah. I mean, the Universal monsters are still popular. It would be
I still have
really
fun
cool
with
to
them.
have them
Yeah.
come on and
Mhm.
somebody get on board and kind of do that upright and just go movie by movie. Don't try to plan the whole thing. I think that was the problem the last time, was that
With like that Tom Cruise one, or
with that, but
yeah,
the fact that they went out and kind of announced,
that this we're gonna
they
make this
have they
universe.
had that big photo op, and
Mm-hmm.
all of these actors are going to be. You're going to get, yeah, right. You got Tom Cruise for the Mummy. You've got
Mm-hmm.
Russell Crowe as Jekyll and Hyde as this kind of Nick Fury of the Dark Universe. And
Right.
it's like, they're announcing all these people that they're announcing Johnny Depp and Javier Bardem and all of these people.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds great, but you got to make sure the first movie is a hit first, and then they put it in the hands of Alex Kurtzman, and it just sank like a stone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
It had potential. Like I honestly was excited when I heard that they were doing some of those things, and then it was too bad that it didn't pan out. But that was definitely I was excited to see what they were going to do with it, because I still have fun with the old Universal monsters. I'll go back and watch the original ones and still have a good time with those films. And I was kind of curious if they could, but I think that's where the MCU, everybody wanted to recreate that universe where every year you had an interlocked movie that was making like almost $1 billion, and I think they just hit at the right time. And I'm not saying they didn't do a good job, but they obviously did. People were going out and watching them, but I think so many people, like you said, just go one movie at a time and not think like, okay, we got to make this universe where there's going to be 15 movies and every single one of them is going to make $1 billion, and we're going to have a gigantic name in each one of them, and they're going to be interlocked. And it just gets to be a little much probably for them to try to do.
yeah,
If that
I
makes
mean
sense.
no, that makes sense. I mean, and that's the problem, is that it's like they plan too far ahead. It's almost like, all right, just because it's the Mummy and we have a big star, this is automatically going to be a $1 billion film. So we can just plan out all these. No, you got to take them one movie at a time. If you're going to do that, you got to at least have a plan going in.
Yeah.
And I tell you, with the MCU, and yeah, they made some stumbles, but between Iron Man and Avengers Endgame, it seemed to me like they did have a plan. This is where we are going.
And it definitely worked, and it drew people in because each movie was like bringing theaters. That was a big stretch too. And my son was young, and I was before. Some of them were before he could drive, and him and some of his buddies, we got into this thing where Saturday mornings they'd have cheap movies, like discounted matinee or morning shows at the theater. And when the new MCU came out, we go to a place to have pancakes and go, watch the movie. And every time we went in there, it was like super early in the morning. It's a very much an off time, but the theaters were full and they were bringing people in for sure.
Mm-hmm. And hello to JPRPH1.
Hello.
Yeah. And I think, and understand I am saying this without having seen any of them yet. I think that's kind of where they're going wrong with the whole DC films right now. It is the fact that it's coming off looking like it doesn't have a plan. It's in retrospect, or maybe not necessarily in retrospect, maybe people saw this coming, maybe not, that maybe James Gunn was not the guy to... I can't see him doing something like Peacemaker. To me makes sense.
Yeah.
I can't see Superman.
Yeah.
I can't see him pulling off a Superman movie because it's just, those trauma sensibilities of his are just going to click right back in, and that's not what Superman is.
Yeah, and I'd say the new one, it had a little different take, a little different twist to it, and it didn't hit for everybody. I think it still did overall like decent. I don't know the numbers, but I think it went off okay, but definitely divisive for people who love Superman. So yeah, I think some of that humor was put into that, and I'm not saying right or wrong, but it didn't hit for everybody, for sure.
No, it's one of those where I'm debating whether or not I'm going to bother to watch it, because my thing is this.
You've never seen it?
I haven't watched it yet. No.
Oh,
and
okay.
And one of the things with me, and this is kind of a little inside baseball, a little bit of what's going on here and behind the scenes of the channel. Okay. Fletcher Williams does a lot of my thumbnails.
Yeah. Yep.
And I have tried a number of times to pay him off. He won't do it. But so this man takes his time, not just for my channel, but for multiple other channel thumbnails.
Right.
And so I like it when I don't take the time out of his day to make up a thumbnail. I for a review or for a show and wind up not doing broadcast. He's wind up doing it right away.
Right.
I'm kind of at this point now where the only reason I want to see it is because I had Fletcher make a thumbnail for a review. Yeah. And is that really an excuse to sit down and watch a movie? I mean, I have no excuse not to watch it. It's on HBO Max. At present, I have HBO Max. We'll see how long that lasts. But at present, I have it. And so it's like, okay, there's no excuse for me to not at least sit down and give this thing a try. but I'm hearing certain things about it that are leaving me to think, I'm kind of doing it through gritted teeth, and it's a Superman movie. I should have been first in line in the theaters for a Superman movie, and I just haven't been. And that doesn't just go for this new incarnation. I didn't go to see Superman Returns in theaters either, and I still have never seen it.
Oh, I've seen it, but that was one I missed in the theater. I did not see it in the theater, but I have seen that one. I have it actually. I own it. I have the disc of it too. So
yeah. So I don't know. It's like it's this double-edged sword. It's like I have to be invested in some way.
Yeah.
In order to go, and I keep coming up with all of the reasons to just not.
Yeah.
Just wait, and and. This is something you and I have discussed.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things that I have a problem with is the fact that you have these, shortened windows between being in theaters and ending up on digital. There are movies that you and I went on the Mystery Movie Night podcast every Tuesday at 7. Where we went on movies that we reviewed last month that are on digital already.
Oh, yeah. Some of them, it's like crazy. Some of them I actually am like, was that even a month? It comes out so fast that I'm like, like you said, we talked about this before, but that's, I think, where it drove people out to the theaters even more, like when we were younger, because it's like, okay, if you didn't see it in the theater, it was going to be 6 months to a year before you were going to be able to rent that thing, So if you want to see it before the next 6 to 12 months are up, you're going to get out to the theater to see it. And I think that drove a lot more people out.
Mm-hmm. And because back when I was a kid and watching movies and going to the movies, it was you would always open up the paper, and at least I did. And I
yes, I did too. Yeah.
Straight to the movie listings.
Yeah,
but that's not the news.
But it's what interests me.
It's what interests me.
I did too. Yeah, and I always joked about that. Sorry, not to go talk, but the Sunday paper we always got. There was the TV guide where you could look forward and see what was coming up on the network channels and see what movies and TV shows were going to be on for the week. So I always grabbed that. But then, there was we had a section that hit the movie theaters and then concerts that were coming into town. So that was always kind of fun to look through those.
But I remember, looking through the movie pages and seeing, held over for 6 weeks, E.T. played for a year and sitting there, kind of watching that, 6 weeks, 12 weeks, 32 weeks,
and then you
1 year anniversary release, and I'm like, oh, wow, So that was,
and now you get some that barely can make it a week in the theater. I mean, that's not exaggerating.
Like it, and you got, and that's another thing that I'm not sure if anybody really remembers. The multiplexes were made so that you could get all of the movies playing in one theater. Not just the blockbusters, but it was also intended to have like these smaller and more independent movies playing side by side.
Right. Yeah.
But what happened was, even though people like me come on and keep crowing that we need to go and see original film, the reason why I do that is because I remember the smaller movies getting pushed out of the multiplexes and people not going to see them because they're going to see the bigger budgeted studio movies that have all of the marketing back when they knew what the fuck marketing was. Yeah. And going back and and then you will see, you see these bigger movies starting to take over more screens. Yeah. And they're pushing these smaller movies out.
Yeah, and if it doesn't turn a profit like day one, the days are numbered.
You know,
For a lot of them, even some that you think are kind of bigger ones, it's like, well, it's not. You had one weekend and it didn't hit the numbers we
yeah,
thought,
eh,
and
eh,
they start taking
mhm,
them off screens pretty
right.
quickly.
And this is something that troubles me
Mm.
because sometimes a movie needs word of mouth
Oh, absolutely.
to, especially if it is a smaller independent film that maybe doesn't have the, doesn't have the marketing behind it. The
Mm,
big
mhm.
studios go and supposedly, you know, can spend up to $100 million on marketing and then kind of throw it into the washing machine. um, and and no, there's no money laundering going on
Mm.
here. Oh, never. We would never do that. You
But
know.
that was like one of the movies I really enjoyed. Um, was well, it probably was last year now. My everything blurs together for me, but Late Night with the Devil,
Hmm.
and that was one that I didn't see one single thing about, and I just heard some friends here on YouTube talking about it, and I was like,
Oh
"What
yeah.
is this?" I was like, "It sounds kind of interesting to me." I looked it up, and it had. I don't even know if it had been in a full week, but by the time I looked it up, it was already like I could see what the last day was going to be, and
Yeah.
so I was like, "This is it," and so I did get out to see it, and but yeah, that was one, like you said, it was a lower budget one, but great movie.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that one,
Indeed.
but I did not hear one word about it other than friends that are movie fans on YouTube, that got caught wind of it. Some people just, like either get screeners or hear things ahead of time or go to film festivals where it was shown, or things like that. I just don't have that. So when I heard that, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna look it up. And yeah, it's like last day is tomorrow. I'm like, okay.
And again, a movie that really needed, word of mouth in
Mm,
order
mm-hmm.
to help it along. And
Yeah,
thankfully, it did. And it's probably why it got into a few more of the theaters,
yeah, yep,
towards the end. And I know because I saw it on, the last day that
yeah. I
they were even
was like
showing it.
the last day at my
I
theater.
was literally one of the last people to see it before it,
Oh,
it was gone.
well, and
You know.
I've told this story many times before, not to go all the way, but it was the last day at my theater for that one, and I was the only person in the theater watching it at that time.
Mhm.
So that was an interesting experience as well. So
Yeah. I'm trying to remember if there have been any times when I was the only one in the theater.
that
Um,
one, that one, I was the only person in a
yeah.
seat in there, but it also was like I said, it was the last night I could get to it, and it was like a Tuesday night starting at like 9 or something. So it was a very probably cold traffic time of week and day for the movie theater. Like, because that's usually when they do their cheaper movies too, is on the Tuesday nights. So
Mhm.
I'm assuming they do that on that Tuesday night because that's a slower traffic day and they're trying to get some more business through. But anyway, yeah, it was interesting not seeing anybody else in there
Yeah,
with me.
I know. You want to see a difference in crowd size was when Blair Witch came out, became
Mm,
such a phenomenon, and
yep, that's
literally shows getting sold out. And I don't know about anybody else, but I was going to different theaters, on different days, trying to get in and not making it, and finally
yeah.
getting in and seeing it. And then day one for Blair Witch 2, I walk in, I'm the only one in the theater. I went, oh, this different.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This
Something's
doesn't have the
different
same
here.
feel to it.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
Um,
I did get to see the original in the theater. I do remember that. But there
yeah.
was so much hype around that too. That's what's funny about that time that we were in. It was before social media and internet was really that big of a thing. And so that was one that always it had a weird spin on it where I still remember to this day when it was coming out, like people were like, no, I heard it's real, like it was real footage, and
Which
people could look at it now and be like, oh, that's so silly. Why did you think that? But at the time, that was
it
kind
was
of
the
the
marketing.
buzz.
The
Yeah.
marketing was
Yeah.
freaking amazing.
Oh,
And
absolutely. Absolutely.
this is what I'm talking about. The fact that, and I think one of the reasons why Blair Witch got compared to Cannibal Holocaust was because it was very much kind of the same marketing.
Mm.
In Cannibal Holocaust, the director had the actors just like disappear. Don't do anything
Oh,
else.
that's right. I did hear about that. Yep.
Kind of stay out of the limelight, stay, kind
And
of
that
keep a
created the
low
buzz.
profile. And that created the buzz. Make it,
Mhm.
oh, this is
Mhm.
real, and so real that their director got arrested because they thought, oh my God, he really killed these people for this movie. Because if you've ever
He
seen,
took it too far.
if you've ever seen a movie, it looks pretty real.
Yeah,
And,
I've not seen it, but I've heard
Yeah.
things.
It's an intense film,
Yeah.
and it makes its point, but it's pretty realistic looking.
That's a
And,
good
so
review.
it's like,
but oof.
yeah, it's like, and so he's like calling up the actors. Where the hell are you guys?
Yeah.
Well, you told us to maintain low profile. No, you got to come back and testify.
Yeah.
They think we killed you.
Yeah. You got to come forward so the police don't think I actually did something.
Yeah, you got to show back up because you got to tell them the whole part with the tripod. It was not real.
The
where did the
joke's
tripod go?
over.
You don't want to know.
Yeah,
Oh,
come
he says, yeah. and hello to our man from the future, Sashi.
Hey, Sashi.
Corey's here. Where's the power washing?
No, that was last night. I was
was
jumping
an
in.
odd one.
I know. I've gotten hooked on this odd game where I made fun of it before I played it. Now I am like hooked on it, and I find it strangely relaxing. But yeah, it's a power wash game where you clean things. So
Yeah.
who would have known?
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Corey.
I could be pressure washing my own home, but
I know, right?
I got to do it personally.
Yeah, that's probably the problem. Is I'm playing that for a while, and then there's probably people around me like, "Well, why don't you do that for real and like real life?" And I'm like, "Well, it's not as much fun." but yeah,
No.
oddly satisfying and relaxing. I don't know why, but there's something in my brain is
Going outside. Bad.
I find it
It's
relaxing.
not good, Yeah. But yeah, it's back in the days when they actually understood what marketing was,
Oh yeah.
and
But that's where they
why-
could keep some things a little secret too. I
That
think,
too, yeah.
nowadays everything just gets blasted out on everything. But that was still a time where they could kind of throw something out there, and it was hard for people to figure out if it was real or not,
and
there was
I
more
think
mystique to it.
Indeed,
Mhm.
and yeah, and for those of you who don't remember, I mean, yeah, it's a movie that people laugh at now, but back then in 1999, what a hell of a year for movies, in general. And going back to that time period and just that whole vibe, it just went viral.
Mhm.
And, and it did help that you had 3 actors who were not all that well known.
Right. So they could lay under the
So,
radar.
yeah.
Yeah.
So because nobody would, it's not like you got like, Laura Dern, Charlie Sheen, and George Clooney to play those characters,
Yeah.
and then not released a movie for 40 years and confused the hell out of everybody. Grizzly too. Anyway, and so yeah. But the point is, you're dealing with who's in it? Well, Heather Donahue, Joshua Leonard, and Mike, what's his name? Williams, and so whatever his name was, and is sorry, Mike, and and it's like everybody's like who, you know?
Well, and when people really didn't know who they were, and like I said, with the internet, you couldn't, not everything was at your fingertips to try to look up. So that was, and again, people could look at it now and be like, I don't know how you would ever believe that, but there was like the whole buzz of like, oh no, they're not actors. They found these films and they
Yeah,
decided to put it
busy.
out on the,
Well,
and
you know, yeah.
that was like, I remember news stories about it, local news talking about it when it came out, and it definitely had a buzz to it.
Mhm. And Sashi says, back in the days when movies had their own website to promote movies, yes.
Yep.
And they had free wallpapers and such. And
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
And, they had the soundtrack album playing. You could play the soundtrack
Yep.
over it while you were looking at the site.
Yep.
And man, killer soundtrack. And great. I listen to that all the time. I listened to that soundtrack for like forever, or as what I always had, because I had one of those, you know, Walkman.
Oh yeah.
Remember
Yeah.
those guys? And
Yeah.
I'm talking like the CD Walkman that you can just take
Oh yeah.
anywhere and pick up
Yeah.
and click it in. And so I had one of those, and I was always listening to it all the time. And that and the Last of the Mohican soundtrack. That was another good.
Oh, that's good. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That was like a study. There was a few that I remember putting on and I'd listen to when I was either trying to like focus on something or read or like study. That
Mhm.
was one. And for whatever reason, Dances with Wolves, I would listen to quite a bit too. So
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Yeah. Back in the days when the soundtrack to a movie mattered too.
Oh, and it was a performance. Like they got an orchestra together,
Yeah.
and it was like it all tied together too. And that's what's crazy too when you listen to some of those older soundtracks. Like some of them, the title will be like what was going on in the scene or something like that. But you'll listen to it and you can visualize it. They
Yeah.
definitely knew how to convey the feeling or what was going on in that situation. But,
Yeah. When I would go to the theater, and then afterwards, you would go out and you would buy the novelization, or you would buy the
yeah.
soundtrack. And I'm
Yep.
not kidding, you would do that, and you could do it because usually the place where you could go, the record store, or
Mhm.
or like a Walden Books or something, would usually be right next to
Oh
the movie
yeah.
theater. And there would always be some pizza place or burger joint right next to the theater too.
Yep.
And it's like, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I miss.
Yep.
Is I miss when you could go out and see a movie, and you can make a day out of it, and it was also affordable. You weren't breaking the bank
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
just taking the family to see a movie. And
Yep.
hello to Papa Goss. Good to see you, sir.
Hey, Papa Gus.
No
Yeah.
worries, no worries.
I would agree with that. When I got older and we could go into the bigger city, for us anyway, and
Mhm.
you could hit the theater that was in the big mall or big for us mall.
Yeah.
Just like you're saying, there'd be the theater around the corner. There was the record shop that like you said, you go look for the soundtrack after that, and then a couple more stores down was the bookstore that you could find the novel or the graphic novel or the comic book or whatever. You could find something that was tied into it, and yeah, it was a good time. Everything under one roof, and that's kind of
Absolutely.
changed quite a bit.
And Sashi, you are not the only one. Stay tuned to some shows I'm going to be doing
Oh,
here
nice.
over the next year or so, because I'm going to start showing off some of what I've got in the personal collection here. So I definitely have stacks and stacks of old time cassettes, for sure.
There's a lot of good soundtracks you could talk
Oh yeah.
about. So
So yeah. What Speaking of physical media, what do you think of the whole Shout Factory situation? You think that's for real, or what? You think they're honestly going to shut down, or at
I
least
don't.
shut down the website anyway?
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I've seen that's a hot topic. That is a lot of videos are coming out with it, and I've heard everything from everybody's getting fired and the place is shutting down and they're selling everything off. Fire sale, let's go. To I've heard, no, they're not shutting down, but yes, people were let go, but they're gonna maybe go into some streaming things, but then like distribution, like selling products would go through like Walmart or something instead of them having their own website. And I know now you can buy it on Walmart or Amazon, but like if they would like exclusively, like just like we're not having the warehouse, we're not having the shipping, you have to go through one of those stores to buy it. So I've heard a big range, and it'll be interested to see what really shakes out of it. I hope it keeps going, because in some form, because well, first of all, never like hearing somebody losing their jobs, you know. That's a horrible situation. And so right off the bat, I will say that's horrible. I hate hearing that. But I know Shout Factory, Scream Factory, they've done a lot of great restorations and releases of movies. I have some of them sitting back here, and they do a great job with it. So I would hope they could keep on going. Maybe they're just changing their business model a little bit, but we've seen that already, where, you know, there's been videos earlier on with you know, Best Buy not having movies sitting on shelves in the store, or Target.
Even I did a clip on that.
Yeah. So I mean,
yeah.
So hearing about them with that, I hate it, but it's not unimaginable, because when you're thinking of franchise stores like Best Buy and Target and some of those, stopping selling some of those things, that means something's happening in the market. You know, the business model's changing. Not saying that, oh, movies are going away, you'll never be able to buy them again, but it's shifting more to like online, you know, and not taking up a footprint of a physical brick and mortar store, you know, sitting at the end of the block.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I find concerning, because it got to the point to where, you know, the best place to go in my town for physical media was like a Dollar General.
Yeah.
You know?
yeah.
Which I never thought I'd see it, and now the Dollar General is gone,
Mm-hmm.
and or is in the middle of like a literal kind of almost overnight fire sale. It's I stopped by to, I thought I'd take some DVDs off their hands. All gone. It was the first to go.
Yep. Yeah, anymore, like some of the bigger like on-site locations I go to buy are places that sell used movies. You know, like we have like one chain that's Half Price Bookstore, but then there's other smaller like gaming stores, but they'll have some movies in there. And it seems like anymore, I have no problem buying used movies, because you can sometimes get some really great deals on some movies you want. So it seems like I go to them more times than not. Once in a while, when there's the sales for Arrow movies or Criterion, I'll hit Barnes and Noble when that's going on, but I'm kind of out in the middle of the country. There's two that are about the same distance from me. They're a little ways away. One barely carries any movies, and yeah, so like one's the only option to go to, and it's really been thinning down. But the interesting thing is, as the movies recede on the shelves, there's more and more vinyl records that they're putting out.
I've noticed that. Yeah.
So that's interesting. So it's still physical media, and that's great, but it's very interesting to see Blu-rays and 4Ks receding back and vinyl coming back onto the shelves. Anyway, it's interesting. And I have vinyl records. I love them. So I have nothing against them, but it's weird to see that shift.
Yeah, I mean, we keep going at this rate, we'll bring back radio.
Yeah. 8 tracks. Let's go. Well, you know, like some big artists and bands are putting out cassette tapes again, you know, and I was like, I never would have thought vinyl sounds great. And I I don't know. I can see that a little bit more, but when I saw some cassette tapes coming back, and I'm like, you know how much of a pain in the butt those were when you were in the car and it would start like pulling the tape out, and you always had to like try to keep a pencil around to try to rewind or wind the thing back up into it or something. And anyway, that's interesting. So I think there's some of that fun retro feel to it when you get into it, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, is there something fun about dropping a needle on a vinyl record? It's fun to do that. So I hope movies can get a little bit of a resurgence like that too, because vinyl was, man, I mean, like late 70s, early 80s, they were everywhere in stores, you know, like you could grab them anywhere you went. And then cassettes, and then things started fading out, you know, and CDs came out, and then you couldn't find vinyl records. And now all of a sudden they're popping up all over the place. So I don't know, maybe movies can get another resurgence like that, where people find the value of having it in their hand and not having I have a lot of streaming services, so nothing against them, but you know, if there's a certain movie you want to watch and it's only on one streaming service, but you don't want to pay for another streaming service, you could buy that one movie then and have it in your hand and watch it whenever you want. So I think there's something to be said for that. And maybe that's what people are kind of getting with the vinyl records, where you can hold on to them. You can look at the, you know, the jacket of you know, the record, and the liner notes, and you know, sometimes some of the releases of movies, they give you some extra things, and maybe that will excite people and bring them back into it to be buying more of those. Sorry, I went off on that one.
Oh no. That's fine.
Sometimes I'm like, I talked a lot right there. So
And hello to Outlaw Bill.
How's it going?
Sunday Night Football play-by-play at the Outlaw Bill Sports Network. Good to see you, sir.
I was just watching a little bit of the game before we hopped on here, so I don't know what the score is now, but I did check it out before I hopped on here.
Right. I used to have like a ton of 45s, and I know Dad had some old albums and anything, and then they ended up all getting tossed, basically. It was a long story, and you know, and unfortunately, and I don't have a lot of those anymore. So I think one of the reasons why I'm kind of glad to see the resurgence of vinyls, maybe I'll have the chance to go back and find some of those older albums, and you know, hopefully maybe some 45s again. And I'm thinking of, that's one thing I'm thinking of doing here in the next year, is, you know, going back and building up this vinyl collection, and maybe buying myself a decent player. And but I mean, dude, VHS is coming back.
Exactly.
Do you see? It's like, are there any like VHS players out there for sale?
They do. They're making them again. They're making them again
for, you know, the type of televisions that we have now.
They're selling them again. It's funny. I think there's been enough of a resurgence that I'm not saying I know the name of the brand, but I've seen that they have new ones that will be on sale at stores that you can buy. So, they're back. It makes me think I should have hung on to my nice Sony hi-fi player that I had back in the day, you know. But yeah, at a certain point, some of those, it's kind of funny where you're just like, oh, it's just taking up room. I'm not going to use that anymore, and like get rid of it. And there's so many VHS and even DVDs that I gave away or whatever, sold super cheap, that I wish I still had now. So I think we all have those stories. So like what you're talking about with the vinyl records coming out, you know, maybe there's some albums that get re-released and they do a nice set for it, and you can either buy back something that you had and have that nostalgia and you had, or maybe one that you just never were able to get your hands on, and you get to experience that then, and, you know, throw it on the turntable and give it a listen.
For sure. You know, so, you know, every time I hear that, you know, some, that a store that sells physical media of any kind is is shutting down or closing. I do find that troubling, because it's almost
Absolutely.
like we're running out of. It's almost like we're running out of places to go.
I agree. I completely agree. Completely agree.
Yeah.
And when you have less competition, prices usually go up. And what have we been seeing on all of these things? So less competition, prices usually go up, or you just don't get as many things released that you want to be able to get. But I think we're seeing that right now. I don't know if it's the direct correlation of being less places to be able to buy it from, but it probably doesn't help things. But man, when you see like a regular Blu-ray, I love Blu-rays, so I'm not a snob where I have 4Ks too, but there's some movies where I'm like, yeah, I know a Blu-ray is going to be perfectly fine for me. I'll go with that. But when you see a brand new Blu-ray that has, and I know some people don't care about these things, but just, if there's no slipcover, nothing special, it's just the movie, which is great. We just want the movie. You get to see the movie. But when that regular old run-of-the-mill Blu-ray is running for like $30, we're not talking 4K or anything like that. No special packaging, just $30. That, yeah, I just, it seems like the prices, they keep on toeing that line. They keep on edging closer, putting the toe over a little bit, seeing if people will still buy it. And, yeah, and then you see steelbooks. And so not even talking about that, like a steelbook with a 4K that comes out, and all of a sudden it's like $45 or something. I'm like, come on. Yeah, I got to start drawing the line. Like I said, I have no problem buying used movies because you can get some good bang for the buck for that.
Indeed. Update. Packers won. Packers.
Oh, there you go.
And as did Bills Broncos. Right on.
There you go. I saw the Broncos. Oh, Packers, I think. Well, no, not the Packers. The Steelers had their throwback jerseys on, but I saw Broncos had theirs on, and I still remember my brother had an old jersey of that a long time ago. It made me think they had the old Orange Crush defense back in the day, the Broncos. But tonight they were wearing the old bright orange jerseys, and made me think of my brother.
Yeah. Yeah, my problem isn't so much that they're being sold, or that I'm sure I could easily find one. I'm just saying I don't see how they would be compatible with today's TVs. Even, I mean, could I don't know. When you start getting into the actual tech part of it, that's where I'm a bit of a schmo. I turn to the doddering old fool that doesn't know what he's doing, well, most of the time, honestly. But where's this newfangled machine here to get it keeps blinking 12? What the hell?
Why does it keep doing that?
I unplug that thing every night.
About that. Yeah, I forgot about that. My dad would usually yell at me after the electricity, blinked or went off, and I'd have to go reset the clock on the VCR because it was flashing. Gosh, I forgot about that. I will agree with you. I think personally, VHS tape, like a VCR, it looks better on an older CRT TV, the old box TVs. I think it looks better on that. And the same with, if you get into gaming, some of the old gaming systems, like the original Xbox or original PlayStation, I think they look better on old school CRT box TV, a tube TV, or whatever you want to call it,
Qapla' to our resident Klingon, Mark Malnikoff. Good to see you, sir. All right. Yes, indeed. Do not forget to hit the like.
Yep. Do it.
Share out the stream. Subscribe to this man's channel. He is criminally undersubbed.
This one too. Go get him too.
This man. This guy.
Oh, no. That's way too much in my face.
This man, he's
that's way too much.
In the county court of Los Angeles, a trial was held. No.
Dun, dun, dun. Or what was that? I always think of was it Law and Order? They always had I can't remember the sound, but it was like a ta-dum.
Ta-dum. Dun, dun.
Mm-hmm. You remember? Sorry, I know I'm such a scatterbrain. It made me think of L.A. Law for a second. You ever remember that series, L.A. Law?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is kind of funny how there's so many. You can think of some medical ones too. Like how many different versions of lawyer and doctor or medical series we've seen over our lifetimes where they, it's kind of like same but different kind of a thing. But
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
anyway, sorry, that was my random thought for the second. I'll come up with another one here in a little bit.
Like that British version of VR that's like still on.
I have not seen that one.
Yeah. There's a British series called Casualty.
Oh, I've not seen that.
And it's basically ER.
Mm.
And it's been on for like 30 years now.
Mm.
I mean, when they started out, they had Simon McCorkindale on there, Manimal. And, and well, I mean, sadly he's passed since, but still that's kind of the point is they have actors who have started out on that show ain't with us anymore because it's just been on for so long. Yep. But that's the thing about British television that I find interesting is that these shows will just like go on forever. How long has that EastEnders show been on? Doctor Who got 60 years before they killed it, but
I guess you could kind of say that with some of the US shows that just do like slight spin-offs. So was it like what was the one that's like NCIS or there was like some of those where it's just like a different city name. Like it's like, oh, now we're in Miami or now we're in LA or whatever, and it's kind of different, but it's kind of the same. So you can say it's a different series, but they've had some of those that have ran for a long time. And I think Law and Order? There's like some of those that they do some different versions of them and they just keep them going.
I was in high school when Law and Order started. That's how far back Law and Order goes.
Yeah.
I don't know if the original show is still on, but I know a couple of the spin-offs are still on.
Yeah.
A Klingon hospital series would be
that'd be interesting. That might not be the most empathetic hospital staff in the world. Maybe not. Maybe I'm being very judgmental.
My brother cut my arm off with a bat left. Walk it off, punk.
Yeah. You must
Uh-huh.
revenge your arm. Go.
Yes.
I was laughing too, and I'll get off of the old shows too. But I still got to finish it. But I was horrible with Sin has been giving me a hard time about not finishing the Black Phone, and I started watching that, and the kids in that started watching TV, and Emergency came on, and I was like, I had forgot about that.
Oh yeah,
show.
that was. Now what I don't remember was Emergency supposed to be a spin-off of Dragnet?
Oh, that I do not know that.
Because that's the thing some people don't remember is that Jack Webb was like the executive producer on Emergency when it started, and it had a lot of like the people who would used to show up on Dragnet, and I think like. All right, here's the thing. So you have Dragnet, which starts out as a radio show.
Yeah.
And then he took that when of course when TV became a thing, he applied that to the series, which is why the original Dragnet from the 60s is so kind of dialogue heavy.
Right.
Because they were making it like it was still a radio show.
Right.
That you were putting on television.
Right.
And you've got all of that dialogue, which is one of the reasons why he's talking so fast. Is he's got to get all that dialogue out.
I only have so much time. I got to get this in.
We only have 27 minutes.
Yep.
I've got like 60 pages here. Give me a break. So Dragnet eventually spun off into Adam 12.
Oh, okay.
And then I think that Emergency was a spinoff of Adam 12, because I thought I remembered seeing the Adam 12 guys in there too, who were, of course, Martin Milner and Kent McCord.
There you go. You're better than I am. I didn't
Yeah.
remember their names. I just remembered
They
the
were-
show.
Right, because they were like recurring characters after a while with Dragnet, and then they wound up on Adam 12 later on.
Yeah.
So, let me see, Mark Malikoff. Was created after Adam 12 featured both officers in the cameo on the pilot. There you go. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
It made
So
me
that-
want to go back and track it down and rewatch some of it because it's been forever. But when that popped up in the movie, it was just kind of funny. I was like, oh, hey.
Oh, yeah. I have fun with those shows. I really do. You know, because I, like I said, I was the weird kid, you know, because not only am I like going to the movie theaters and like watching like Gandhi and Amadeus and all this stuff, I'm sitting at home watching Dragnet at like
There you
4
go.
years old and going, I'm totally digging this. Yeah, Joe Friday, go get him.
Yep.
You know, this is the city.
No,
like,
I have a lot of great memories with my dad and actually my grandpa. Well, both grandpas watching some old shows. Sometimes they were new at the time and sometimes they were reruns, but yeah, it's kind of funny looking back at some of those series. Like one at the time was reruns after the late news. Every single night it would pop on, or at least Friday nights. I still remember to this day watching with my dad Rockford Files. And it would come on after the 10:30 news every single night. There was reruns of that. So it's kind of funny when you like associate things with people. My dad, I think of Rockford Files. My one grandpa is Hogan's Heroes, and one grandpa is the A-Team. Actually, he liked the action, but he loved it that people didn't like actually die in it. You know, like no matter how many times the car flipped over, people crawled out of the car. You know, and I think that was the saving grace for him, where he could handle watching it after some of the things he had been through in his life. But yeah, you always saw everybody crawl away from the vehicle or whatever.
And that was the thing, was that the A-Team was always considered like the most violent show on network television. Every year it would be like A-Team, A-Team, A-Team. Nobody ever died.
Nobody dies.
Ever.
I'll agree. Lots of guns were shot, lots of explosions, lots of cars flipping over multiple times. But I think that absolutely, I know for a fact, that's the only reason why my grandpa could watch that one, was every single time they did that, they showed the person crawling away from, you know, the flipped car, or, you know, they'll have the explosion where they're like flailing their arms and legs and, you know, flying in the air, but then they're like kind of crawling on the ground then or something. But yeah, you never see. Now somebody's going to prove me wrong, but I don't ever remember seeing anybody die. Like, I think every single time you see the person crawling away, they might be like moaning and groaning or something, but you see them like limp away or like crawl away from whatever happened. But so for the time, probably it was considered very violent because guns were being shot. There was explosions, there was cars flipping, but at the same time, I don't think you ever really saw too much like in the form of like blood or anything. And like I said, like a car would flip 28 times and then you'd see the two people crawl out of it and go, oh, I have a headache, you know, or something like that. But
the Law and Order spinoff have only 5 minutes of lawyer stuff, which is not true to the original Law and Order series. Yeah, they do. I do notice that the spinoffs do tend to
stray.
do tend to focus on the cops more than they do the lawyers.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah.
NCIS is a spinoff of JAG, if memory serves. Yes,
nice.
It did. It did start off as an episode of JAG where a Gibbs NCIS team is investigating Rab, and it was like this two-parter kind of backdoor pilot thing, and here we are, like some 20 odd years later.
And how many different NCIS series, and but even Jag itself went for a pretty decent run, didn't it?
Went for a while.
Yeah. I remember that being a long-standing show, but that's where I mean, like maybe they're kind of spin-offs, but they're kind of related. So whether you put that whole chain together and say, okay, this is all kind of related, there's some of them like that have been. It's just even if you look at one of them by themselves, is a pretty strong run for a series. But when you put them all together, and it's pretty crazy how long a lot of them keep on going. But obviously there's fans. They wouldn't keep on making them if people aren't tuning in to watch it.
And Jag was interesting because Jag started out on NBC, and NBC was going to cancel it.
Oh yeah.
And then that's when CBS picked it up, and that's when it went on to being on multiple seasons, and of course NCIS and all that. I don't know where it's gone since, because I don't really watch commercial television anymore. So
I really don't either.
I don't know ultimately where it ended up, but these shows like Law and Order, like Jag, these were the shows that were on when I was in high school, or just after. So,
but that's where I think maybe that's even leaning into what we were talking about before. See, look, no matter how scattered we are, it all ties back together. We're going to bring it back. Talking about movies, not getting a very, sometimes they don't get a fair shake out in the theater, and they're like pulled really fast and on a streaming service. I think nowadays series are kind of like that too, because they make so many different ones on different streaming services. They're not all on just network TV. Granted, there's still some that have long runs, but I think there's some where they're just like, well, that one season didn't work, and then they pull it, and it's kind of like the movies where they're like, get it out of the theater, just throw it on a streaming service.
The cone of silence is the shizzle. That's all I have to say.
I missed that one.
The cone of silence.
The cone of silence.
On Get Smart, whenever they were having one of their meetings, they would have this cone come down around them. That was supposed to be the cone of silence. What did he say?
So I'll admit that's one I do not know. I so that was lost on me. So sorry, I didn't catch it. That's why I had to ask.
Don Adams, and when they did the movie with Steve Carell, I thought that actually was pretty decent.
I never saw that one.
I actually kind of liked it. I thought it was fun.
The one I did see, we were talking about series and them spinning off. Did you ever see The Dragnet with Tom Hanks and Dan Aykroyd?
That was totally not serious at all.
Well, no, they like did the. It was like, let's make Naked Gun out of Dragnet,
Basically, yeah.
So I was kind of curious what you thought of that, but I haven't seen it in ages. But I remember people at the time saying like, that's not Dragnet.
Well, no, but they left enough of it there to where, if Friday had a relative, of course he would be that way. Just like when you see the new Naked Gun movie, of course that's the way Drebin's kid would be.
Yeah, right. You're like, okay, I can see it.
Makes sense. So yeah, I don't mind, and I don't mind a Dragnet movie. It's fine. I think it's better than the 2 times they actually tried to make another series out of it.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. And with the first one, do you remember the Sacketts, the Westerns?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Tom Selleck and Sam Elliott.
Yes.
Well, the guy who was the younger brother, he was in the first reboot of Dragnet.
Oh, okay.
And I think the problem with that was, I think the budget kind of killed it, because it was one of those don't lean against the wall. You're going to knock the whole set down. Kind of a thing.
There's not much holding that up. We don't have the budget for it. Don't lean on it.
So I think that was kind of the problem there. And it was syndication, and syndication kind of gave people the willies at the time. And it was just kind of bad timing. And then ABC did it, where they brought in Ed O'Neill.
Okay.
As Friday. And he was supposed to be like a relative of the original guy.
Okay.
And I went, and Dick Wolf did it, who is the guy who does the Law and Order shows. And I said,
oh, okay.
They're just going to turn this into Law and Order. And that's exactly what they did.
That's what they
it just became a Law and Order spinoff.
They leaned into that.
And it's like, okay, if you want to do Dragnet, do Dragnet.
Right.
Don't turn it into the show you're already doing. It's boring. you know?
Yeah. We already got that show. We already have that show.
We already have the show. Yeah. So that was another thing. So it's almost like even though they took this comedic approach with it, it was like a better Dragnet series than the 2 reboot series that they tried to do. One was trying too hard to be the original show, and the other one didn't even try to be the original show. But then you find like this sort of weird Dan Aykroyd comedic netherworld where that film comes from. And for me it worked. It was a lot of fun.
Sorry, now I'm like second guessing. I have to look up what year that came out.
What, the Dragnet film?
The movie.
87.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
Yeah.
I knew it was in the 80s, but I was like, I don't know. I sit there and I'm like, what year was that? Because I remember going out and seeing that.
Chips is a dumb series, but I watched it anyway. Yeah.
Oh, I remember watching Chips.
Everybody did. Yeah.
Yep, I remember watching that.
Cars always wrecked on Chips. That's why we watched it. She-Rock was for the car wrecks, which were pretty elaborate. Yeah.
Yeah. I just thought the motorcycles were pretty cool too. I don't know. We just didn't have the motorcycle cops around us, so that was something different. Seeing that on shows, and I don't know, for whatever reason, I thought it looked pretty cool. Remember when Rockford came out? Yeah, I have I actually went back and I have the complete series on Blu-ray because I just had such a good time. I know like a lot of it I saw was on reruns, but for whatever reason, there was a stretch in my life where the news would come on, the late news would come on at 10:30, and when it was done, Rockford, whatever channel we had it on, Rockford Files would come on after that, and my dad and I would watch it. And sometimes he made it through the show, and sometimes he was snoring before the end of the show, but I still remember hanging out with him and watching it.
Yeah. And that's how, people like you and me, we got to see a lot of those shows because they would start to go into syndication, and then we would get interested.
Yeah.
And,
a lot of those I was naming off were syndication, like Rockford Files or Hogan's Heroes, or, you start looking at like Bonanza, or, there's, we were talking about Westerns, Gunsmoke. Man, there was a lot of those I remember watching, that my dad would flip on. And anyway, it got us exposed to things that they had their original run before our time, but the syndication kept it running, and I watched it and I got into it, and I started watching all those things. So,
and then the shows that you don't realize were still on when you were a kid, like Gunsmoke. They were still doing first run Gunsmoke episodes when I was a kid.
Gunsmoke, that was a run.
That was,
they came out with a DVD set of that thing. It's crazy how
it's massive.
Yeah. I actually saw it at a Walmart a little while back, and I just had to pick it up and look at it. I'm like, that's a lot of DVDs.
Yeah.
That was a lot of years. That ran for quite a while.
Yeah. The original Hawaii Five-0.
Oh, yeah.
Was still on when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And Jeff Daniels is the villain in the last episode.
Oh, really?
And I remember that. Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to
And
check that out.
I remember an interview with him, and yeah, at the end they're up on this cliff, and McGarrett has shot him, and he's like, yeah, you're too late, McGarrety. Like, McGarrett, this show's been on for 8 years. Get my name right.
If you're not going to get it right,
This damn kid,
yeah,
And so yeah, Hawaii Five-0 was still on when I was a kid.
I remember
In
that.
first run.
I have some other Blu-ray sets too. I
Yeah.
started going back and grabbing some that I just remembered younger that I had a good time with, but I probably never saw every single episode. And someday the idea is I'm going to go back and go through that. But you start throwing out other big ones too, like that I have, like Magnum PI or I don't know. I also like Knight Rider or and then some that were some newer ones too that I remember enjoying a lot when I was younger. But I just know, if you didn't see it when it came on, you didn't get to see it then. It wasn't like, oh, I'll just stream it whenever I want to see it. And so I know there's a lot of episodes I missed, but then one of them in that whole range of them that was probably a newer one, I grabbed Quantum Leap. And I remember that one. I always thought that was kind of fun. But yeah, that and I just grabbed the first season of MacGyver. So there you go, MacGyver. That I throw that in the camp of like A-Team and stuff too, where I have fun with those.
And there is only one MacGyver series.
Yes.
One.
Yes.
There's only one.
There's only one I've seen. How about that?
Yeah. In the original series, MacGyver did not run off and join Antifa. That did not happen.
They tried to remake Quantum Leap though too, didn't they?
Yeah.
I never saw that.
I don't think it lasted.
No, I don't think it did either. But I think they did try to give that a spin again. But
Well, one of the reasons, and I'll get off this tangent in a minute, and
yeah,
one of the reasons
sorry.
why
I'm all over.
one of the reasons why I didn't buy into the new MacGyver series, and I did give it a chance.
Yeah.
Was the whole idea behind MacGyver was you call him in when nobody else can do the job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Basically, he was like this one-man army, essentially.
Yeah.
Right? In this thing, he has a team around him.
Oh, okay.
Then what's the point?
Yeah.
I don't like what they did with Thornton. I don't mind that they race and gender swapped Thornton. Just what they did with the character ultimately.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like that.
Yeah. I've never seen the new one, so
the new one.
Yeah.
The new one's a mess.
Mm. We could just do a whole nother stream sometime about reminiscing about 70s and 80s sitcoms or shows or series or whatever you want to call them.
The best thing that I liked about the MacGyver reboot, and the one thing that for me worked, was when they got David Dastmalchian to play Murdoch.
Oh, really? Okay.
Perfect casting.
Oh yeah. I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. And they actually, and there's an episode where they brought Michael DeBar back, who was the original Murdoch.
Oh, yeah?
To be the guy who trained this Murdoch on how to be Murdoch.
Oh, funny.
It's like, he's like, if you
hat.
think I'm bad, wait until you get to see this guy. And I'm like, oh, shit. Okay, you could just do a whole show that's just do Murdoch and Murdoch, man. Just let Murdoch have a series. No, we can't do that.
It's crazy now too, and this is not just like old guy ranting or whatever, but well, I kind of am. But at the time, when we were talking about these shows, there was like 3 networks for the most part, and that were putting out shows, and what I find hard for me to keep up with a lot of them, I think there's a bunch out there that I would enjoy, but I just can't keep up with all of them. Where, now we got so many different, well, you got the networks, but then you have so many different streaming services, and they're all putting out their own shows, series, content, whatever. And sometimes it's even hard to hear about them. Like there's just so much out there now where it's almost like, I don't know, it's a little daunting, where then I just don't even end up watching some of them, where there's probably stuff out there that I would really enjoy, but I just don't get to it.
Yeah, it's like, is it a movie or is it a series? And you don't know. It's hard to keep track. And then you have all these streaming services, and you want to pick something out at random, and then you're just doom scrolling at that point, and then you just get to the point to where you scroll through everything on all the streaming services, and then you just give up.
Well, I'm going to admit right now, I've done that before, where I've done it for so long where I could have watched 3/4 of a movie probably, and then at that point I'm just like, it's too late to start a movie, and then I go to YouTube, and which I love YouTube. I watch a lot, but when I'm like, I'm going to watch a movie, and then when it takes you a half hour to figure out what you're going to watch, or, oh, I remember I went and watched that one movie. Oh, wait, what streaming service was that on? And then you're like almost doom scrolling through different apps to try to figure out, where did I see that one at? So that's the one thing. I love streaming. I love the convenience, and like, it's awesome to have things like just at your fingertips like that, except when it gets so split up like it is right now, that's the only thing I don't like is, well, one, having a, like, oh, I got to get another subscription, but on top of that, just it being spread out, there's not like one central location where you can find what you want. That's the weird thing too with sorry, side tangent, and I'll stop with this one, but music industry, like how, like something like Spotify, you go to Spotify, and I know not everything is out there, but almost anything you could possibly want to try to listen to, new, old, otherwise, you can go to that. You can have that one subscription. You can go to that one app, and you can more than likely find it. I know there's somebody will be like, this isn't on there, and I'll agree, but a ton of stuff is. And there's other music apps too that do the same thing, like YouTube Music, Tidal, there's Amazon Music. It's just, it seems like it's so different with the movies and series, where it's much more disjointed and like separated out into their own streaming services. And it's almost too bad you couldn't have just that one where you like that 92% of the things you want to find is in that one app,
Mark Malikoff says SWAT was a spinoff of the Rookies. I think it was.
Oh.
And then, of course, they rebooted back that one, SWAT, and I think it's lasted longer than the original series has. Does anyone remember the time travel series Voyagers? Yeah.
I never saw that one.
Yeah, and that was that show came to kind of a sad end, because there was an accident on set with the lead actor, and he got killed on the set with this blank round. And it's an unfortunate thing. It wasn't no. It was the show he did after Voyagers.
Oh, that it happened.
That it happened, yeah. It was the show he did after Voyagers. Yeah, but it was the guy from Voyagers, and it was he did a show after it that was kind of like a Mission Impossible kind of thing.
Okay, yeah,
and it was an unfortunate accident, but I do remember Voyagers. Yeah, I do.
I don't know if I'll have to look that up to jog my memory. I'm blanking on that one. It was a network show?
It was on NBC. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was one I just missed. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to write it down, because I love hearing things I don't know. Even if I can't actually find it to watch, it's I like going out and just like being acquainted with it. And then, next time it comes up, I'll be like, yeah, I haven't seen it, but yeah, I did look that up after our conversation on this live stream.
And hello to Emoji Queen, Lady Mist.
Hey, Lady Mist.
Dark Shadows. Yeah. Remember that well. Again, another show that was spun off years later. Dragnet goes way back into the early days of TV, black and white. Yeah. Started out in the 50s.
Oh yeah, for real. Yep.
Yeah, True Rock. I don't know what's going on with that. It's like everybody's like old handles are starting to pop back up again for some reason.
So I was trying to look into that too, because we were having that discussion on my channel as well, and not everybody's channel is doing it. And I was getting some type of feedback from people that were saying that YouTube was going to it because that handle is your like main one that can't be changed or something like that for your channel. And they were doing it as a test of people not copying other people, like, so who it is, kind of a thing. The problem is you get used to what the name looked like before it switched to this. And so I don't know if they're keeping it or not, but my channel was doing it too. But I've been on some channels that's not having it happen. So I don't understand the rhyme or reason for that.
Yeah, me either. Just one of those.
Definitely not anything that we
No,
no,
we are not doing that.
It's YouTube, I think, testing things out, and it's just like I said, it's strange. Some channels I see it, sometimes some I don't, and I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Watched The Rifleman.
Yeah,
so did I.
Yeah. Yep.
Chuck Connors.
I had a ton of Western series and movies were watched by my dad and me, then watching it because he had it on, kind of a thing. So yeah, there was a lot of those I had a lot of experience with.
Mm-hmm. Bizarre. Super Dave Osborne. Yeah. In fact, the Super Dave parts of that show were the only parts I was allowed to watch, because that show got a little risque. It was on late at night. It was on Showtime.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It had this. It was hosted by this guy named John Biner, who was a comedian and an actor. Showed up in a couple of Burt Reynolds movies, and that was where they introduced the Super Dave Osborne character.
Yeah, it was just like a little skit, kind of, wasn't it? Yeah.
And it was a skit. It was a skit.
Or not meaning little skit, but it was a part of the show. But
part of the show.
It was like a separate skit, or
it was like kind of like The Simpsons to the Tracy Ullman Show.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And
it has the guy Bob Einstein, who played Super Dave, and he is the brother of Albert Brooks, the actor Albert Brooks. Albert Brooks' real name is Albert Einstein. No shit.
Well, that's nothing to have to live up to.
Yeah. So you see why he made the change.
Why are your parents so mean to you? They're like, we're going to put a lot of weight on his shoulders. Oh man. Okay.
So funny.
Yeah.
Two funny guys. But Albert Brooks has done a couple pretty serious parts in movies too, particularly in Drive.
Oh, absolutely.
He's creepy in that movie.
Oh, for real. I get in this weird habit sometimes where I don't know if it's a weird habit, but okay, a habit, whether you want to know about it, I know or not. Mm-hmm. There's some nights where I know it's too late for me to watch a movie, and sometimes I'll go to YouTube and just bring up scenes of movies that I know I love.
Oh,
I'll just watch that scene and be like, oh yeah. And I'll watch a couple of those. Anyway, just within the last couple nights, there was a couple from Drive that I watched, and there was the whole, sitting down at that restaurant and then going out to the car, like kind of towards the end. And I'm like, man, he was dark in that one. The whole, any plans that you had, any future, whatever. you're gonna have to put those on hold, and you're gonna be looking over your shoulder the rest, kind of a thing. And I'm like, oh man. But anyway, that was the one that popped right in my head because I just literally within the last couple nights I watched that.
Yeah. Drive was like my number one movie that year.
Oh,
I loved it.
That's a great one. I can go back and watch. There's a bunch of different scenes in that are some of the chases and the choreography that they did with that. And I'd say how they mixed it gets pretty violent, in spots, and how they mix that into it too. I have the Blu-ray of that. I know there's a 4K, but I have the Blu-ray of that, and I can go back and watch that one. That's one I can throw on and watch whenever.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I'll say the first time I watched that, some of the violence, like, I'm not saying I've never seen that before, but it caught me off guard in a couple spots where I was like, oh.
You're having actors you're not used to seeing in those kind of roles.
Correct.
Like Albert Brooks committing like these really horrific, he stabs the guy in the eye with a fork for Pete's sake.
Exactly.
I mean, it's gnarly.
Yeah.
It's like, I remember watching that movie with my dad and I'm going, I don't, Albert Brooks is not like this.
That's not the Albert I know.
even my dad's like, dude, what the fuck?
But did something bad happen to him, or what changed? But sometimes I think that's what makes it more shocking when you have a role that somebody plays that is so out of character to what you're used to seeing them in, and whether it's going to violent or whether it's going to funny or silly, when it's not what you're expecting, I think it sometimes has a big impact on you. I think for sure with him in that one. Yeah,
for sure. And the reverse of that is Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah.
Because a lot of our generation knows him through Naked Gun.
Correct.
They don't remember that he was this like really serious, dramatic actor who would very often play villains.
Yeah. And then they throw him in the dry comedy, like Airplane, his dry comedic role in that. And, but I think that's where people said then, that's how I knew him first was Airplane and then Naked Gun after that. But, I agree with you completely. What you're saying is I think that's what caught people off guard when you're used to seeing them in a very dramatic, serious role or a villain. And all of a sudden he's got this like dry, crazy humor that he's throwing out where people are probably caught off guard and like, wait, what? And that's probably why it was even more memorable.
It's just, they rebooted Ironside, Equalizer, and Hawaii Five-0 as well. The Ironside one I didn't see. I can't really speak to it. The Equalizer reboot, I refuse to acknowledge.
I've only seen the original out of that. Yeah.
And the Hawaii Five-0 is all right. Yeah. What I saw of it. But there, like I said, there's a point where I kind of stopped watching commercial television. And it wasn't really like a conscious choice. It just
kind of happened.
Yeah, it kind of happened, and then that's when I started to see kind of like the woke tropey stuff starting to seep into a lot of this stuff, and I lost interest.
Okay, sorry, I'm just gonna say this one show before I forget it because you're gonna be like. Every time you talk to me, you're going to figure out like how much more scatterbrained I am, but I don't know why, but talking about some of those shows that popped in my head, but you ever remember Hunter?
Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry. I don't know why, but when those are being said, there's some cop ones there and stuff.
Yeah. Well, Hunter was supposed to be like Dirty Harry for TV.
That's absolutely. And he did. He had the revolver too and everything.
Yeah. And that was the way it was. That is literally how they marketed it at the time. Yeah. Dirty Harry for television.
Yeah.
And then they had this show. I don't know if you remember it. It was called Lady Blue.
I don't know that one.
There was a show called Lady Blue, and they called her Dirty Harriet. Because it was a female Dirty Harriet. Yeah. She was very much about, and not in this way of like being a girl boss kind of a way or anything. She was essentially like Harry Callahan, just in a woman's body. That was
Yeah.
it. She was willing to do what, if I got to shoot somebody, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. And so there was that too. Um, yeah. See, I think there was a
It's funny when you start talking about this because I don't. I keep on going off track, but like then I start thinking of like Hardcastle and McCormick, or
Yeah.
or like it's just like it's never ending. But I just think they stuck in your, or maybe just for me at the time, you had fewer choices, so I don't know. It seemed like you got invested in them a little bit more.
Yeah, they were more memorable. Even the shows that you didn't necessarily watch.
Yeah. Or that's what was on that night. That night of the 3 network channels you had, well, that show's on. I'll flip it up, but then you remember it, I guess,
Yeah. That there are too many streaming services, but there's something else missing too, habits. Yeah, because, again, you had the appointment television.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
if you weren't there, you weren't going to get to see it.
Yeah. And I consider us here on YouTube, we're the appointment television now.
Oh,
because
for sure. Especially live streams like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The shows that I don't want to miss.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what television used to be like.
Oh, absolutely.
And again, not to sound like a broken record, but that's again what I miss about film. It's kind of the same way with television back in the day when all we had was you had ABC, NBC, CBS, and then you had ETV and PBS, and that was it.
Yeah, and it was quite a bit later when Fox came into the picture, but yeah. But yeah, for a long time, that's what you had right there.
And that was it. And everybody thought Fox was going to sink really fast because really all you had was kind of like Married with Children. And then you had a bunch of shows that were kind of like the lesser Married with Children's, and then X-Files came along, and that's what.
Oh yeah, they definitely had some that took off. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember when they started, they were showing a lot of, I think, reruns and things like that. But I'll still to this day, I still remember, was really excited when we figured out we were getting another channel. It was like, whoa, man, we're going to get another one. And you had to switch the whatever from the VHF or the UHF, or I don't know. You had to flip on the turn knobs. You had to flip, or at least ours, you had to flip it to something else, and then you could turn to the channel. And it was channel 17. And I still remember that. That's crazy. Fox. And the very first show I ever saw on there was Linda Carter in Wonder Woman. So I was hooked right off the bat. I mean, you got Linda Carter running around in the Wonder Woman outfit, and you're a little kid, you're a young adolescent boy. You're like, okay, I'm digging this channel. I like it. But anyway, sorry.
And then Deborah
too much
Winger
information.
Later on,
What's that?
And Deborah Winger later on.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey. All right.
But that was
Electra Woman and Diana Girl. Ooh, okay. Yep. Moving on. Watching TV in the day was a habit. You needed to tune into the channel a certain day and time to watch the program. Otherwise, you would miss it. Yep. That's why most people who run YouTube channel live streams, you want to be in the chat of a live stream, you need to be there on the right day and time. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Yeah, exactly.
I still have friends, if I miss their live stream, that I'll still go back and watch it. But yeah, it's different being able to, I'll admit to that. I still jump into people's live streams all the time. It's fun when it's actually going on, or at least I find it fun to be in the chat and talking to people within the chat, or, throwing out questions to whoever's doing the live stream. Absolutely. I love being able to jump into those. I have fun with it.
And Connie remembers the Super Dave series.
Yeah.
Riptide, that was another NBC series there, yeah.
I don't know if I know that one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Columbo.
Columbo, yeah.
Yep.
And Equalizer, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that original Equalizer. And that Watch the original Equalizer and see where Person of Interest came from.
Gotcha. Yep.
That and basically Batman, because that's the other cool thing about Person of Interest, as far as I'm concerned. Person of Interest. Here goes the next half hour. Now, the thing that's interesting to me about Person of Interest, other than the fact that you wouldn't have had it without the Equalizer, is the fact that you also wouldn't have had it without Batman.
Yeah.
Because it is essentially Batman, only Alfred has the money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you look at it. Reese is Batman. Finch is Alfred. But like I said, he's the one with the money.
Yeah.
Carter's Gordon. Shaw's Catwoman.
Yeah.
Root's the Joker.
You got them all there.
Fusco's Bullock. There you go.
Yep.
It's Batman. Give it up.
Yeah. And maybe it doesn't have all of them, but could you even say that about like Knight Rider or something like that too? Or
sure.
Yeah, like you got the rich. That's kind of like the rich Alfred as well, but finding the person with the talents that they need to do the good they want to do,
Now, one of the things that I've heard is that they want to do this reboot of. They want to reboot Knight Rider, Airwolf, and I think there's like one other show.
Oh, I used to watch Airwolf, yeah.
And then they're going to make like this sort of shared universe out of them.
Really? Okay.
If you can get David Hasselhoff back to be the character who passes the torch, have him be the millionaire or whatever.
Yeah, like
bring him back and that would be like the passing of the torch. Who better to recruit Michael Knight than the guy who was Michael Knight to be?
Yeah.
Bring him back for it, and I'm down with it.
Yeah. I can see that. Yeah. I'd go for that. Yeah. Oh, Spencer for Hire. I remember watching that one. Beretta, I never really watched, but Spencer for Hire, I remember that one quite a bit.
Yeah, I like I said, I found the books later on, and I've read them. Beretta, Robert Blake.
I know it, but that was not one that
I was very little, so my memory of Beretta is a little fuzzy.
Yeah,
but it's out there. Connie agrees with me on Equalizer. Yeah, I've told that story of why the Equalizer spinoff didn't work for me. Chirac said, my dad watched Vegas, but I never liked it. My thing was it went when it got into like the 10 o'clock shows. Especially when I was younger, I would be aware of them, but I didn't get a chance to watch them. And Vegas was like one of those shows.
Yeah, okay.
And that was with Robert Urich before Spencer.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but no, that's the one I don't have experience with.
Yeah, Wise Guy. Yeah, that was another decent one.
That's where I feel like sometimes I get in these, whether it's movies or shows or music or whatever, you can get in these roles of like, oh, and you remember this one, but it's fun to talk. It's fun to talk about, but yeah, it's kind of funny how you can get off on a tangent talking about some of these things.
Sci-fi horror TV series in the 80s and 90s. Friday the 13th, the series.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Watch that and see where Warehouse 13 came from. Freddy's Nightmares.
I remember Freddy's Nightmares. Yeah.
And if you're going to bring up Freddy's Nightmares, Nightmare Cafe.
Oh, I don't know that one.
That's good too. I think Robert Englund was in that as well.
I'll have to check that out. Tales from the Crypt, I only got to see that when I went over to my cousins because they had cable and we didn't at our house. So, but yeah, the Crypt Keeper I always thought was pretty crazy. I always liked his laugh.
Tales from the Dark Side, X-Files.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, the Return of the Outer Limits.
Outer Limits. I remember the original.
Yep.
Actually, I bought the set of the original. I know, sidetrack, but
Yeah.
the Blu-ray set of Twilight Zone. That was one I wanted to go back through because I know I have not seen all of them, but that was one I remember catching reruns late night of.
Cool. Trilogy of Terror and Tales from the Dark Side were fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Deleted is correct on Person of Interest. Yes, I am. I am correct.
I've still never seen that, and I've heard so many good things about it. So
I have been thinking about, and guys, don't hold me to this because this is going to be something way down the line. Maybe doing a show around rewatching it.
Yeah.
From beginning to end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've literally only seen like the first episode of it. Now, I mean, like say that, but I have not watched the series, and I enjoyed it. But sometimes I don't know what it is with me. I kind of just drift towards movies more than series for whatever reason. But it looks interesting, and I like the premise of what was laid out in the first episode. It seems intriguing to me. So.
It's pretty much the last series I watched from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one ran for a decent amount of time too, didn't it?
5 seasons. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, anymore, 5 seasons is solid, isn't it? You can go to,
why reboot if they have to do them? Please do a continuation of them.
Mm-hmm.
Today's reboots are craptastical. Yeah. Well, you remember Nightmare Cafe? I watched the short series and got canceled. Yeah, it wasn't on long. But I do.
I have to look up and see if I can find it anywhere.
Connie says, "Do you like Wise Guy?" Tim Curry was in it for a spell.
I don't know Wise Guy.
I don't remember. I remember Wise Guy. I just don't remember Tim Curry being in it.
That's interesting though.
He could have been though. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah. That was actually the first time I remember seeing Kevin Spacey in anything.
Oh, really? He was in that. Okay.
He was, because the idea was that every season was a different case because it was December federally,
gotcha.
and the idea was that every season was a different villain, and the problem was they never topped the first season.
That's the problem when they start off strong.
And even though, you had, like I said, you had Kevin Spacey later on, William Russ, Joan Severance. Oh my God, Joan Severance. Wow. But, the first villain was a guy named Sonny Steelgrave. And he was played by Ray Sharkey.
Okay.
And he is such a charismatic character that it's like, he was an evil bastard, but you kind of liked him.
Yeah.
And that was the thing, is he was one of those guys.
You're not supposed to like him, but you're like, I
don't
like him.
You kind of wanted to get away.
Yeah.
And and they gave you a few reasons why. God, do we really have to do this?
They're making it tough on you.
Because it was just going to be the showdown between the two of them at the end.
Right.
And it's like you want to see it, but at the same time, it's like, because at that point they're almost like brothers, and it's just like, God, but that was, Tim Curry was Winston. I'm sorry, Connie. I'm drawing a blank. I don't remember Tim Curry being in the show. Like at all, so that he must have been later on. I don't know. Was he when Ken Wall was still on the show, or Stephen Bauer? Because they switched protagonists about after a certain point. I don't recall. The first movie I saw Kevin Spacey in was See No Evil, Hear No Evil. Yeah, I think that might have been the first or second movie I remember seeing him into, with Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder. And also, Joan Severance is in that as well. And they both wound up in the same season of Wise Guy. That's kind of funny.
I know that
Um,
movie, but I didn't realize Kevin Spacey was in that. It's
yeah,
been forever since I've seen that movie, though.
he's in it. Yeah.
I have to go track that down again.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good night, Lady Mist. We're fixing to wrap it up because
Thanks for hanging out with us. Yeah,
we've actually gone a little bit past what we said we were going to. So
it happens. We start rambling, right?
Yeah, we do.
So. it happens. It happens.
All right.
That's all right.
Well, I think this is as good a place as any.
No, that's fine. And sorry, I know I'm really good at running off the rails.
No.
It's fun to just sit and talk.
I did say you had the floor, so yeah, that's what this show is about. Letting the guests take
the floor was very uneven. But no, great chat. Thanks everybody that was jumping in here and joining in with the chat with it. When we're talking about doing live streams, that's I know it's the same with you too. This is why we have fun doing it. When people throw their comments and questions and their memories and all that fun stuff into the chat, it makes it fun. That's why I got hooked on live streams. So yeah. Thanks for everybody for hanging out with us tonight.
Mm-hmm. Give me a few minutes to recall.
That's usually what I have to say about everything. It's like, give me a minute. With my memory.
because the weird thing about Wise Guy is I remember everybody else. I remember when they switched from Ken Wall to Stephen Bauer. I remember Jonathan Banks was always in the show. I remember the guy from Highlander being on the show. I remember Ray Sharkey.
Highlander?
The Watcher guy. The Watcher guy he's in Wise Guy as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's actually a show I wouldn't mind going back and watching. The Highlander. Yeah. I always Did you ever watch that show? Sorry, I won't take too much. Okay. We'll talk about that another time, but that was a staple through some of my college years, watching reruns of that over lunch. So anyway, next time on reflections on old series that we've watched, we'll talk about that one a little bit.
But Wise Guy had all these great character actors in it, and like I said, Kevin Spacey, Joan Severance, Jerry Lewis was in it at one point.
Wow, a lot of big names.
Ron Silver, Stanley Tucci plays this really creepy fucker in season 2. He was in season 2. I don't remember, and I know I saw season 2. Oh, that's going to drive me nuts now.
I know what you're Googling after this. So.
Oh, okay. I'll have to. That wouldn't be a bad show to rewatch.
Which one?
Honestly, Wise Guy.
Oh, okay. That's one I've never seen, so that would be a first time watch for me. But I'll have to check that out.
The Corrupted Music Mogul. Okay, kind of makes sense. Okay. Yeah, because the bad guy in season 2, he had his fingers in a lot of pies, so it makes sense. Yeah. Season 2, I think. I'm trying to remember, because I kind of get the, after a while I start to get the seasons mixed up.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Like who was the villain and which, and then the fact that you had like characters from previous seasons that started to carry over as well.
Oh, yeah.
So that kind of.
Then you're like, was that the second season or the third season, or was that the
Yeah.
So
that was another one. So and even when they got to the Stephen Bauer seasons, they had that Martika girl in there who did that Toy Soldier song.
Oh, really? Okay, I know the song. Yeah.
So it's like I'm looking back and wow, a lot of people on there, and then you bring up Tim Curry, and then I completely blank. Like, how did I miss Tim Curry? Jesus.
Oh man, I'll have to check that out. That was kind of like one time I was watching a compilation on YouTube. They were showing guest appearances on Miami Vice, and it was kind of crazy how
yeah.
how many people were showing up in that.
And then you're like, Julia Roberts?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
Yeah.
there was a ton of them in there.
A ton, yeah.
But before I knew who they were.
that was the idea, yeah.
Yep. So anyway,
Helena
sorry.
Bonham Carter, I remember that was like they had Bruce Willis in like a really early episode, and as a villain, and that was like the first time I'd seen him play a bad guy because he was on Moonlighting. He got so used to David Addison, and then like then he plays a character here. You don't want to like be anywhere near. It's just like okay, that was another really fun one. Oh, we're going off on a tangent here. Another really fun one is watching Barney Miller, and then there's that video out called Before They Were Cops.
I haven't seen that.
Which is because that was a show that used a lot of the same actors.
Okay.
In different roles.
Okay.
So you would have an actor funny. That they would bring in as a suspect, but then he would play a cop later.
Yep. You're the villain this one, and then this one you're going to be the cop.
They had a character on there named Dorsey. I don't remember the actor who played him, but he was somebody who did like a lot of TV at the time.
Yeah.
When he's in the show the first time, he's playing this guy who's like holding the office hostage.
Okay.
And then he's Dorsey later on, where he's one of the cops.
Okay.
And they did that like a bunch of times.
You're sitting there like, I think I recognize that guy from somewhere.
And so, they were like, Steve Landesberg was Dietrich, who's the guy who replaces Abe Vigoda's character when he retires.
Okay.
And they brought him in as this guy who's like this like fake street preacher and something.
Okay.
He's got like his own church, but they're trying to figure out if it's like a tax dodge or something.
Oh, I got you.
There's got to be something illegal in here somewhere, So
find it.
I just gotta find it. So,
cool.
Yeah, I think even in Ron Carey, who is his character Levitt, is like the desk sergeant guy.
Yeah.
And when he first shows up in the show, he's playing this character called the Mole. Who's this guy who uses like the sewer system to get away, and that's how he keeps people from chasing him because nobody wants to go down there. But Wojo is such a fucking hot dog that he just jumps in there after him.
I don't care, I'm getting him.
Out of there.
He's like, dang it! I came across the one person that doesn't mind jumping in here with me.
And then you have Harris, who's Ron Glass, who is Shepherd Book and Firefly.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And and the whole idea on the show is that he's just so obsessed with kind of like his whole appearance and everything, and always being in these expensive suits and everything. And after Wojo is captured the Mole, and he comes in there and he's just all covered in this gunk. He's like, I fell in the sewer.
Well, there goes that suit.
Will they compensate me for my suit?
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
The budget.
The dry cleaning is going to be horrible for this thing.
Yeah. May as well just burn it in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Barney Miller is still running us. Yeah. When I still had my satellite up, I would watch that like late at night because these two. MeTV, I think was the one that was.
They show a lot. Yeah, they show a lot of shows like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was kind of like for a while they had the Nick at Night that would run.
Yeah,
a bunch of the old, like older shows. But yeah, MeTV they would play a lot of great old series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, rather watch Night Court for Marky Post. Yeah, Night Court owes a lot to Barney Miller because the guy who created Night Court started out as like a writer for Barney Miller.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and was kind of mentored by the guy who created Barney Miller, and then he kind of went off and did Night Court. And some parallels.
Yeah.
I think which I think is one of the reasons why I like Night Court so much, because it's kind of like Barney Miller without Barney Miller in it. But
I always liked Bull.
Night Court's a fun one too. Yeah,
Bull. Wasn't it Bull? The
Richard Mole.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Fun show. All right. So, Corey, what do you have coming up?
A couple things, but tomorrow night, hopefully going to be, I'm planning, I got a ticket purchased to go check out to see what the mystery movie for the night is. And then, hopefully a bunch of us Tuesday night will be hanging out talking about that, you included. So, that's the immediate future, for me. Yeah. And possibly, I think, Paul maybe having a Thirsty Thursday, maybe. So I think that's, I don't know for sure, but I think in the group chat, it was kind of being thrown around a little bit.
Up in the air. Is a possibility. Yeah.
So I don't know if that's 100%, but I think the Tuesday is 100%, right? You planning on that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
That's happening.
Yep. So
that's
the for sure in my future is, I have a ticket purchased to, as long as something crazy doesn't happen and derail my plans, I got a ticket purchased to, be sitting in the theater tomorrow night, and then, Tuesday night hopping on with you and, other friends to, talk about whatever movie they decided to show us. So, and we'll see if it's all the same one, because we did have that one time where there was a couple different movies. That always makes for an interesting show. So, but like when one person sees,
what are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. What movie did you go see? But yeah, it'll be interesting. Yeah.
They didn't have any horses on the beach in my movie.
Yeah, exactly. I always kind of wonder, because sometimes people start chatting about what's coming up on their screen, and when I'm in Central Time Zone and Eastern Time Zone, people are getting to the movie sooner, and then all of a sudden I'm like, am I gonna see the same thing? And then all but like for me, I know for sure one time there was like, I think there was 3 different movies between all of us that were watched, and that was interesting. But that's the big thing. I'm gonna try to line some more. Just keep on doing this, jumping on live streams, and doing stuff like this. I have a lot of fun doing it, so hopefully keep it rolling. But yeah, just kind of play it by ear. But for sure, Tuesday night, be back over here on your channel to hang out and see if we all saw the same mystery movie or not.
Brent Spiner got his break on Night Court. Yes, he did.
Okay.
Wheelers, yeah. All right, so that brings things back around to me. Tuesday, of course, mystery movie night, and right after that'll be at 7 p.m. Right after that will be live from Sparkwood and 21. And this week we're going to be kind of diving back into the world of Inland Empire, and we're going to watch Rabbits. The entire web series. We're going to do the whole thing because it's like an hour. So we're going to do the whole thing in one night.
Yeah.
And hopefully it won't be too weird, so that the last half hour of the show is us just going, damn, that was weird, wasn't it?
That was something, wasn't it?
Oh, that happened. Okay.
Anyway,
a horror sitcom with adult-sized rabbits. Yeah, that's
oh, what's the worst that could happen?
With Naomi Watts as a rabbit. And okay.
That is not something I've seen, so
okay.
I might have to find out if it's something worth checking out or not. That's funny.
All right. So Thursday, something a little more normal. Vampires. For Action Theater, Bill and I will be rounding out our month-long Halloween celebration with The Lost Boys.
Oh, that's a great one. Yeah. That's a fun one to watch this time of year. Anytime, but yeah, especially this time of year.
And coming up on the first episode in November, we're going to do our first anime, Akira, from 1988.
Yeah. That's one I still need to check out. I've been recommended that quite a few different times, but I've never watched it. Have you seen it before?
Oh yeah.
Okay. No, there's a few of them I haven't gotten around to that. It seems like I always joke I'm gonna make T-shirts with that says like either I own it but I haven't watched it yet, or it's on my watch list. You know, it seems like I have quite a few on both of those categories that I need to get around to. So, but yeah, I've heard a lot of good things.
Indeed. And of course, later that night, coming attractions, where you get to find out what I am doing. That'll be around 11:15, 11:30-ish. Find out what I'm doing next week, up to and including my appearance on Friday night on Big Al Presents channel for Films with Friends as we watch the original Halloween.
The great Halloween. Yep.
Yes. Some might say only.
Yeah, depends who you talk to, but I think a lot of people agree if they like if they like anything of the Halloween series. Most people, at least, quite a few, like the first one.
It kind of becomes a choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
After that.
Yep. For sure.
Normal. Yeah, because we were watching Young Frankenstein the other day.
Oh yeah.
It's Abby Normal.
That'd be a funny one to watch again. I haven't seen that in a long time.
All right. So, any final words before we let these good people go and get some sleep?
No, but just thanks again for having me on. It's always fun to hang out, and yeah, you never know. Sometimes when you leave it open, it's a lot of fun. Where who knows where the conversation is going to go, but it's always a great conversation. And I thought there was a fun one again tonight. And it's a lot of times when we start doing this, I look at the time and I'm like, I can't believe it's been that long, because it's you know, time flies when you're having fun, you know, and you're hanging out and with friends, with you talking about this, and everybody's been great in the chat. So yeah, absolutely. Just wrap up. Thank you very much for having me on again, and we'll have to do it again sometime.
Indeed. And speaking of the chat, I would like to thank the chat, everybody who is following along on X and Rumble. I can't see you, but I know that you were there. Of course, Connie, Tree Rock, Mark Mounikoff, Lady Mist. Let me scroll up because I know we had other people here during the show. Sashi, Papa Gas, Outlaw Bill, FKHC 2005, sometimes known as Tim, Pop Culture Minefield, who's probably wrapping up Frankenstein right about now, and Clue Studio. And thank you, Gary, once again for becoming a member.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yes. All right. And I think that was everybody.
That was a great group.
I always like to check. Oh, Curtis was here. Yeah. Boomer and Troy and Etter, who were with us at the beginning.
Probably did the raid coming in.
Yeah. Geeky Geezer's raid.
Yeah.
Box Office Brawler.
That's right.
Yes. All right. So that was everybody who took part in the chat. And of course, thank you to anybody who might be lurking, because there's always a few.
Yep.
Which is fine. You don't have to engage with the chat, just as long as you enjoy the show.
Yeah.
Hit the like, shout the stream. Hello to everyone, of course, watching on the replay, because again, there's always some. Sleep.
We don't need no stinking sleep.
I gotta be up again in a few hours.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
That's all right.
So, yes, and I've also got to fit in my Shelby Oaks review at some point because I did see that tonight.
Oh.
And yeah, having your getting to see your name up there in the credits of a theatrically released film is definitely a good little piece of encouragement. So
Awesome. No, that's awesome. I
that
think that's very, very cool.
is-
I'm going to be
is.
looking for it when
It
I
is.
see it. I'll have to watch for your name.
You got to get all the way through to the credits.
That's all right. Yeah, I'll get there.
But,
That's
yeah,
very awesome. I love that you get it.
Everybody who was involved in the crowdfunding,
Yeah,
guys, your names are in there.
that's
Everybody,
awesome.
which is why the credits are almost 10 minutes long. But, yeah,
Just means there's a lot of friends helping out with the movie, so that's very cool.
yeah, it is, and you're going to see some familiar faces in there too, not only in the credits but on screen as well. There are going to be a few people you're going to go, oh, wait, that's that.
Cool.
Yeah, and and it's got a pretty kick-ass main cast in it too.
Cool.
And yeah, like I said, I'm going to do a non-spoiler. Don't know how much I'm going to say because I don't really want to give anything away.
Yeah,
but, it's intense. It goes there.
Yeah.
And yeah. Well, there'll be more in my review. So,
yeah, that's definitely one I want to get out to the theater to see.
Oh, yes, see this in the theaters.
Yep.
I'm the one who's been saying support independent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Media, independent creators, and that's why I got involved with this. And hello to Lauren McMullen.
Lauren,
right on. Good to see you, sir. All right. As we are about to wrap this up because but of course, I don't delete anything off of my channel. Even the episodes of things that I don't like or anything that are mistakes, I leave everything out there. So
you get to see it all.
You get to see it. All right. So as I always say at the end of every broadcast from HQ and all points north, south, east, west, and beyond, good night. Take care, stay strong, be safe and healthy. Go out and see Shelby Oaks. It's good. Because this is how we win. I have theme music now. I will now play it. Good night.
Night.
It's even odd when Ronin's back, slicing through the noise with a culture attack. Pop culture films in the world we see. Deleted scenes where the truth runs free. Take care, stay strong, we're breaking the mold. Be safe, stay healthy, let the story unfold. From watch parties we use to the news we spin. Deleted scenes, yeah, this is how we win. Take care, stay strong, we're breaking the mold. Be safe, stay healthy, let the story unfold. From watch parties, reviews to the news we spin. Deleted scenes, yeah, this is how we win.
people.